It's like we've always known, been set in stone, unbreakable. It's like I've always dreamed, true harmony, unmistakable, unmistakable.
Hello and welcome back to the House of H.E.R podcast, your podcast and community for everything healing, escaping and rebuilding your life after domestic abuse. This is the last episode. It's a bit of a bonus one, this one, and I cannot believe we are at the end of season 2. I don't know where the time's gone. I can't believe we've made it again. Another amazing season. We've had some amazing guests, and now we are about to launch something that I hope, but do believe, is going to help so many women. And as you know, we've done a rebrand of the House of H.E.R a couple of episodes ago. So it now stands for Heal, Escape, Rebuild. So it is now centered more for whatever stage of the journey you are at, whether you are healing, whether you are escaping, or whether you are rebuilding. So it meets you wherever you are at, and it also aligns so perfectly with what we're about to talk about in today's episode and where the future of the House of H.E.R is going, which is exciting and scary and a bit of everything. But who else would I have to interview me again other than Cassie?
She's back.
She's back. Oh, we need to do that. Have you missed us?
I'm so happy
missed
to be
you.
here. Again, it's an absolute honour. So thank you for having me
Thank you
again.
for
Thank you for
coming.
asking me to come back.
So yeah, this week I'm in the hot seat again, which always makes me feel slightly more nervous.
You'll be fine. I'll look after you, don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure. I have good faith in you. But yeah, guys, I don't know why I always say guys when really I should say girls, but guys or girls, we have something coming. If you follow me on social media, I've been speaking about it for what feels like 7 years. But because of the nature of what I'm building and the topic that we are obviously covering, and there is just so much that has to go into it. But by the time this episode airs, praise be, we will finally be ready to launch. I'm not going to give too much away yet.
No.
Let's go.
Let's get some questions asked, shall we?
Also, for everyone who is watching this on YouTube, we are on our phones because it's new branding, and I was not organised enough to make sure we had cards that actually say the new branding on, and some things will never change.
Yeah.
Here we are.
I prefer the cards, but you know.
And I'm promoting Audi. I've got it all going on today.
Okay, so let's kick off. So, Hollie, you've spoken a lot about your journey over the last year. We all understand what you've been through and how utterly horrendous that was for you. But what made you realise that something bigger was going to come from your experience?
I think and I'm going to give a bit of backstory, because actually I did this on my social media the other day, and I don't know if I've actually said this before, but when I basically started the House of H.E.R, obviously originally I was doing it with someone else and we was co-hosting. When I started, House of H.E.R was never going to be about domestic abuse. It was originally, at that point, I knew something wasn't right, and I knew that in my head I knew it was abuse, but I wasn't aware of how severe it was. I still blamed myself a lot. And I come out of the relationship and I knew I needed to go on a healing journey, because I knew that relationship, whatever it was and whatever I thought it was, I knew I had to change. I had to heal, because I could not cope with I knew I was in a bad way.
Yeah.
And I knew I needed to go on a healing journey like I've never gone on a healing journey before. And Molly, who I used to do the podcast with, was on a bit of a similar journey, and I'd always watched her stuff, and she was like a little sister to me, and she was kind of on her own journey. And I think at the time when you go into something new, I wanted that safety blanket. You know, you don't going into something on your own that you've never done before is scary. And I think, you know, I owe a lot to Molly and what she gave, and, you know, I loved our time together.
Yeah.
But things change and all of that. But when we started it, it was a healing journey, an empowerment, and talking about richness in every sense of the word, self-love, money, everything, you know, getting your power back. As we started, I think I then started around the same sort of time, if not a little bit later, my therapy journey, which started uncovering the severity of what had happened and the level of control and abuse that I had lived under.
Yeah.
I'd also at that sort of time started talking to family and friends whose face was like yours when I told you, because I think I'm quite shut off to the emotions of the severity of the violence and things, and I would just be like this and this, and I got the reaction that you gave me is what the fuck. And through therapy and all of that. So I think when that started uncovering, and I think once I had, then obviously it ended up going to the police. I then, once he was arrested and spoke to the police, realised how severe it was, even more so, and started sharing my journey and opening up on social media. And what I was not prepared for was the level of messages and women that are going through it. Like it honestly took my breath away. Like it was hundreds. I've never actually, my inbox has never ever been so crazy as what it was. It was hundreds. I still don't think to this day I've managed to get, like, it was just, and at the time it was quite overwhelming as well. And I think from that, it slowly shaped the nature of the podcast. So fast forwarding, obviously it was Healed, Empowered, Rich. Fast forward to where we are now, it was great and it is very healing, and I want it to empower people. But I feel like the direction that we are now going into, and I am working with domestic abuse charities and, you know, speaking to people in domestic abuse field and survivors, and I just felt like the name didn't align. I don't want to just help people that are healing. And I know myself at the beginning of that journey, you don't feel empowered. Your last thought is feeling empowered. You are surviving day by day. And it was something that I wanted to do for a while. And I think when I decided to go in this direction of what we're going to talk about, it just Healed, Empowered, Rich just didn't align with it. And so I wanted to change to Heal, Escape, Rebuild, because I want it to be for everybody. I don't want it to, yes, we want to empower and we want to rebuild and we want to heal. But right at the beginning, you need to understand what you're in and escape in the safest way possible. I'm not saying just get up and run because it's a dangerous thing, but I want to help people at every level. And I feel like this just...
But how incredible as well that the impact of your audience, it's almost like they are your partners, because they have shaped where this is now going.
Absolutely.
And it's going to continue to evolve. And because it belongs to you, you can pivot in every which way. It's really special because again, it's that meaning behind it. You know, everything that you are doing is for the greater good of somebody that is also walking in the shoes that you have walked in.
And I feel like it's great, you know, now for me to, yes, it's great that I'm now on a healing journey and I'm at a place in my life where I want to rebuild. But a lot of the women watching this are not at that place. So what's there for them? How is this affecting? Yes, okay, they might notice it and they might be sitting there thinking, could that be me? All that showing signs. But then what? And then you go sit back on your sofa and what do I do now?
And also, I suppose it's all in good time for each individual, because it's such a personal experience, isn't it? And it might not be right or safe for somebody to act now, but in the future, this...
And
what you are doing could save, well, we know.
And this is the thing, is it's, you know, it's not about just escaping. It's
Yeah.
not about have a big argument, take your stuff and leave. Like, and you know, it happens,
Yeah.
and you have to do whatever you feel right.
Yeah.
But in a lot of times, the most dangerous time for a woman is once she's left.
Yeah.
Because if you are with someone who is, obviously, if you're in an abusive relationship, they are controlling,
Yeah.
and they don't like not being able to control. And when they feel out of control, they lose their mind.
Absolutely.
And it's with what I'm doing, you know, providing you with the knowledge, but also providing you with the contacts
Yeah.
and everything to do that in the safest way possible. Listen, that no one has to follow it. You know, you do as you seem fit, but from lived experience and by speaking with professionals, if you want those tools, and we advise those tools, they are going to be there.
Yeah. So when you realised, because I know that at first you were very much, you know, it's my part to play and I know what I did wrong, and, you know, maybe it wasn't as bad as what it was horrendous. But at the point that you realised that you were going through domestic abuse, did you search for any tools to help you?
I remember, and actually I put the conversation up on Instagram the other day between me and him as part of a post that I done. And I would say to him, this is domestic abuse. But my only channel was Google.
Yeah.
It was all ChatGPT wasn't a thing at that point. It wasn't. It probably was a thing, but it wasn't. I wasn't living my life by it at that point.
Not like you are now.
I wasn't
my
breathing
goodness.
through ChatGPT at that point. I mean, probably could have fucking done with it, but yeah, like it was Google. You know, I wasn't talking to anybody. Nobody knew what I was going through, and I was just relying on Google. And Google's great, but it's very generic. It's not personable.
No, or sensitive. No.
It's, you know, it lists how you could, and what I would Google is how I'm feeling normal.
Yeah.
Because he would say to me, you're so bitter, you're so cold, you're so this, you're so that. And I'd be sitting there thinking, I've got a fucking black eye.
Yeah. Yeah. No wonder I'm feeling like this.
What the fuck? And like, honest to God, like I could not understand, but that's how mad I was. Like, what I would Google, why am I so cold? Like, why am I so this? He's doing this to me. Is this abuse? And obviously it would come up, but there wasn't anything to listen. Like, not that I knew of anyway, where I could sit and think, oh my fucking God, that is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Like that is me. It was just a fucking page on Google. Like, this is domestic abuse and this is how you feel. But aside from that, there was nothing about, you know, you're in that because you're trauma bonded and because of this and then love bombing and nothing was explaining that, unless you know that term.
Of course.
Unless you're Googling why am I trauma bonded, nothing comes up. And at that point, I was saying on, you know, previously, I'd never heard the word coercive control.
No.
I knew things weren't right and he was controlling, but I had no idea. And I just feel like there's nothing out there. And if there is things out there, they're not personable. Yeah. They're not through, it's just not something that you connect with.
Yeah. And also as well, I think if you are at the stage where you are actually taking to the internet to seek help, your mind is all over the place. Fear, you know, anxiety.
And you're trusting Google rather than your own gut instinct of knowing it's right, which is a red flag in itself in terms of like where you're at. If you're Googling, am I in a domestic abuse relationship? The chances are you are.
You are, absolutely. So for someone hearing about this for the first time, what actually is House of H.E.R?
So up until this very moment, House of H.E.R is a podcast. That's where it started. I wanted to share everything that we've just spoke about, you know, the trauma, the things that people, my biggest thing, or up until now, my biggest thing is getting awareness out. Domestic abuse awareness is great. It's great and it's amazing that it is being spoken about, how it is being spoken about. You know, I'm seeing things now about they're going into schools to teach young boys about, you know, and it's amazing. And you know, we hear it so, it's not amazing that we hear it so much because there's a fucking problem with it. But it's amazing that it is getting spoken about a lot more. What is not being spoken about is the emotions after leaving domestic abuse, how a woman feels. It's so, that is the bit that is just, there's a huge gap in terms of, yes, you're in a domestic abuse relationship, and yes, we can all shout from the rooftops that this is domestic abuse and this needs to stop, but what's there for the women that are coming out of that domestic abuse relationship to stop them going back into it, feeling crazy, and understanding trauma bonding and all of those emotions, why you're going back into it,
and that it's perfectly normal for you to be missing them, and
wondering all of the emotions
that
that come with it. There's nothing for that. There's nothing, there's no awareness, there's no help, there's nothing for that. So my whole point of starting this podcast was, I was in a privileged enough position to do therapy. I was privileged enough to do healing with people like Kat and learn about my body, learn about my nervous system, learn about trauma bonding and coercive and all of these things that come with domestic abuse. I know not everyone is in that position. So if you can't spend £60 a week or however much money a week to go and learn about these things, where do you go to learn about them? You know, unless you know the word, but until you go to therapy, you don't know those words. That's how I learned it. And my whole purpose for this was to do that, to give back, because I thought, if I don't know about this, and I'm on social media a lot, my job is on social media, I know about a lot of things, but I don't know about this, I don't understand this, I didn't understand why I loved him, why I missed him, why I kept going back. And he would say to me, but you're coming back, so it's not that bad. Friends would say, but you're going back into it. What do you expect if you're going? The first thing, even my mum, everyone said, why are you going back into it? And I could not understand. It made me feel more mad, made me feel more of the problem. And so I started this for that, and through that is now developing into a lot more. But also I want to build a community, because I know firsthand what it's like to talk to people, even now in later on situations that I go through, you know, whether that's in work, whether that's in other relationships. I can talk to people that haven't been through abuse and they don't get it. They just don't get those certain feelings, those anxieties, like, that become your normal. And to anyone else, it'd probably sound like you're a bit mad, you know, and trying to explain emotions that you feel after coming out of something like that is so hard to someone who hasn't experienced that. And I want to create a community of women that know that they can come and they can make friends, and, you know, we can have the chats and we can help each other and support each other, but also somewhere you can come and be like, I fucking miss him. I want to text him.
Without judgment.
Without someone saying to you, what the fuck would you want to do that for? Are you mad? And then you think, oh my God, maybe I am. And it's just that loop. And it's no offence to the people, because thankfully you haven't, but it's still so isolating. And, you know, I want to raise awareness. I want to help women understand their emotions. I want to give back on things that I've been privileged enough to be able to learn. But also I want to create a community.
Do you know, it's just crazy sitting here listening to you. Because honestly, like, I wasn't at the beginning of you realising what hell you were going through, but I certainly was in the middle of it. And you're like a completely different person. It really is.
I think
incredible to see, Hollie.
Yeah, I do feel like I feel like
this is the rebuilding. You did the escape. This is the rebuilding.
I mean, there's definitely things, I mean, on Instagram today I was crying because there's certain things that I think, you know, but I think that's part of me now. And actually I had a conversation with my friend Steph this morning because I was explaining some of the emotions, and she said, you have got to stop putting yourself down and saying it's because of the trauma, it's because of this. She was like, it's now part of you. You have been through that. That is who you are. That is now how you feel. That is now what you expect. That is now. And it just completely changed my way of thinking that this is never going to go from me. I'm never going to be who I was before, you know, and I don't think you ever do fully heal after any traumatic situation. You know, I think there's always going to be elements and things that trigger me and make me feel a certain way. And I'm probably going to look at relationships and men and life in a completely different way to what I did before. But I know I am a lot fucking further on than I was
Yeah.
a few months ago.
And I think it's acceptance of where you've been and where you are now. And I think it's just simply moving with intention and putting one foot in front of the other. And you, my friend, are doing that in abundance.
Yeah.
And it is right. And it is about, if you feel the need to cry, you just have to do it.
I say this all the time, I just love crying.
Yeah.
And actually sitting in times of uncomfortableness it's horrible. And I've had quite a few of them recently. And like feeling hurt over things and, you know, and pressure and building this, you know, it's not fucking easy. It's overwhelming. It's hard listening to people. So it's hard. And, you know, with everything that you're doing, like you get to a certain place and I think, oh my God, am I good enough to do this? Am I like, and it's a heavy weight to carry on your shoulders. It's amazing and it's fulfilling, and to know that you have made a 0.01% difference in the world is amazing. But it's also a lot on your shoulders. It does come with a lot of responsibility, and you almost do feel responsible. People are opening up about heavy stuff, and I feel like, but a little bit of it heals me in a way. I feel like I'm healing on that journey. Really and those messages that I do get that say, you know, I had a message the other day and it was like, thank you, thank you, thank you, 1,000,000 times over. I think I actually shared it, like, I found your podcast. Oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's like, it doesn't feel real.
What I would say to that is that you have spoken the words that so many wish they could but don't have the courage to do. And I wouldn't have the courage to do. I don't think I could have ever have done what you've done. But calling people out and putting it out there for the universe to hear.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I'm struggling with at the minute. I'm not going to lie. And this is me being totally honest. He has been away and right now I am really struggling and starting to panic of that impending doom.
Yes, I get it.
Because he went away, it's almost like in my head, it's out of sight, out of mind. He's never going to be out of my mind. Unfortunately, he's in my mind a hell of a lot more than I want him to be, you know, and that's something that I also do struggle with, is I do have PTSD, and
he takes up space.
I constantly, every single day, have a flashback in one way or another, you know, and it's not always negative. It's not always something bad. It can be that trauma bonding thing. Whereas, you know, I might see something and I think, oh my God, I've done that with him, and it takes you back, and then you think, oh my God, I can't believe he's in prison. Yeah, you know, so it's not always negative things, but he's in my mind a lot, and I think I had an email the other day, basically from the victim support people, about having a call about his release, and that doesn't mean it's imminent. They have to naturally, before things have things in place. And I've actually decided I don't want to know when he's coming out, because I think it would be a date that I then count down to. But it's something that I am worried about, because when he went away, it gave me that confidence to talk. You know, I'm protected. You know, he's away. It's not going to be like that forever. And I've not named and done any of that. But I do have fear he's going to come out, and I've literally put it everywhere, you know, but for the right reasons, because I won't let that fear, I won't let him control. This is the problem, you know, and I don't want to keep that silence, and I want to do, but it is an emotion that I'm dealing with, and naturally, you know, everyone would, but I have been very vocal about it, and I want to, because I'm lucky I have that platform, and you know, I want to be able to make that change, and I'm not going to let him have that control over me. I won't, and I'll fight, but it doesn't mean I don't feel it.
No, of course, and I get that.
You know, and it's
and whenever that day is, and let's hope it's not for a very long time, I would also say that I know that you struggle every day, and I really do, and I'm not trying to simplify that challenge that you face, but I do feel like the progress that you have made,
God,
if we add on however much longer on top of that, I don't know if it will feel, I'm sure it will feel significant, but I hope, my hope for you, my heart is that you are able to cope with it a little bit more, because you are almost becoming the subject matter expert on your own lived experience. So you're gaining all of these tools, and that's what you're creating for so many thousands of women that really need it.
I couldn't show up on my Instagram because all I cared about was what he thought of me. I don't now have that.
No.
I genuinely don't. Like, I would not, because I would be convinced he would look at me and think, oh, look at her, she's so ugly, she's so, like, it was mad. Like, I could not. Number one, he was stalking me on them and watching everything I do. But because I knew he was watching me, I had complete fear of, number one, him knowing what I was doing and where I was. But also, I was so consumed by what he thought of me. I don't have that now. I don't actually give a shit of what he thinks I look like. You know, I still have my struggles with that. I don't care what he thinks. What I care about is he could be a tad angry. Yeah. And how that could, you know.
But you will have the mechanisms around you to protect you.
And that's the thing. Through this journey, I have learned so much, and I've got the support. And also, he has got a 12-year restraining order. So that's,
absolutely.
You know,
that's what helps,
does take the edge off.
With the creation of what you are doing and how you are moving House of H.E.R forward, which is so exciting, it isn't just for women that are out of that space, and I'm not saying out of it because I don't think it ever really leaves you, but are out of sort of imminent danger. It's for, tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, I am launching, it's going to start off as a website.
Amazing.
My goal is to have an app, which will be as discreet as possible. Because that's a huge another thing, you know, and this is why it's taken so long, because there is so many safeguarding elements of what I'm doing, because there is going to be people that are still in it, you know. And also funding, you know, this is something that is self-funded. I don't have investment. I don't have, you know, I've given up a lot of my work, and all of this has come out of my own pocket with not a single dime of investment or funding.
And it's really expensive.
And it's expensive, you know, and, you know, my goal is, you know, there is future plans for other things which will allow, hopefully, you know, to have some funding and be able to take this in a direction that I want to take this globally, you know, and to help. But for now, we are starting off where we can, because getting it out there is better than it being, it's better that it's somewhere than having nothing. So I am launching a website.
Amazing. Under the same name.
So it will be House of H.E.R Hub. Under Heal Escape, which is the reason I actually changed the name, because originally I was just going to have the website, and then it was like I'm doing two different things. And actually, my podcast is for the woman that is escaping. I wanted it all under one bracket, but doing the website is actually what made me look at it and think, I want to build something for domestic abuse victims and survivors. Healed Empowered Rich isn't aligning with that. You know, it's just not. I need something that is, and actually the words just worked perfectly with the her, and because I didn't want to change that, you know. I love her, we want to become her, and her is strong, and all of this. So I wanted to keep that. And this website is, where do I start?
I know.
It's basically for every situation. So if you are someone who is questioning whether it is abuse, there is a questionnaire. You can go on, you can read all of the common things that you may be thinking that we have answers to. And I can guarantee you, if you are in something, you're going to connect with them. There is facts v myths. So what we tell ourselves and what is the truth. There is a questionnaire that you can fill in, and your answer to the questions will tell you whether you are in an abusive relationship or not. And it has been tried and tested, because I didn't want something that just generically, you say one thing in your relationship is a bit off and it says, okay, you're in an abusive relationship. I've done it with friends who have maybe ticked one thing and thought, you know what, I'm not in an abusive relationship, but that does happen in my relationship sometimes. something's quite small, and it came back, no, you're not. You
Yeah.
know, there is always trust your gut still. This is just generic. But if you are at that place where you are questioning it, you've got that. If you need help right now, it will have another page and it will tell you all of the things. So there is things on there like when you call 999, if you can't speak, you press 55.
Oh my goodness.
If you go into a pharmacy and you say Annie, they will know that you need help. There is just so many tools. If you need help now, if you need to get out, and there is people that you need to speak to, there is all the services in there. If you are coming out of it and you know, for instance, you want to know what charities are around you, you put in your postcode and it will bring up all of your local domestic abuse charities. There is so much on there, but if you are in it and you find yourself in an abusive relationship, there is a safe place for you to keep your evidence. So instead of you having it on your phone, this evidence vault will store it. So it will time log. If you are wanting to, and you know, you don't want to keep pictures on your phone because if they find them and things like that, you can store it in the evidence log. You can safely record. You can, if you are in danger, send a message that GPS track if you have your locations turned on. Obviously, you can allow it just for this website where it can send a message to, you can go in and save your contacts basically and choose, and you click a button and it will, fingers crossed by this point because it's what we're working on, not directly go through your phone. So it will not be a text message that shows in your text messages. That is what, there is so many bits that we're, you know.
But it's all driven by the severity of the matter that person could be in, the situation that they could be in. It's driven by safety, right? Yeah.
And it's got so much. But one thing that I, you know, love about it is there is, you know, for every stage of where you are at. So if you are someone, okay, you want to know whether it's abuse, it can guide you, you know, and tell you. If you then want to know what you need to do with that, what your next steps are, it's got all the next steps, but not only written, it's got the links and the numbers to every website you are going to need. If you are then thinking of reporting it to the police, it will break down every step of how that happens. If you want to do a Clare's Law, it will take you to the Clare's Law. If you need help with housing, you want to understand you're living with someone, you want to know what orders you can get to get them out the house, it has the links and the websites. If you are struggling with your children and childcare, it has co-parenting tools on there that are parallel parenting tools. So instead of and having to connect, you have apps. It's got the links to the apps. It has got links to every single thing: housing, finances, if you're in debt, if you need to find a charity for a refuge, if you want to report it, every single stage and every single thing that you could think of that you will need to worry about. If you want to build your own safety plan, so you want to know, it's got checklists. It's got ways to communicate with your children at different ages, what the right and wrong things are and how to speak with them, because that can be a really hard thing to, you know, navigate. Like I said, there's the free charity finder for all the different things in your area. And that's kind of the bit of what I wanted to create, is that place that you can go to and every single step that you will need to worry about is covered in there, with the resources, with the information, every single thing on a PDF, every single coercive control, gaslighting, trauma bonding, financial abuse, sexual abuse, every single thing is covered for you to understand and break down, and you can read it. There is things on there for when you do leave and that first 24 hours when you want to get in contact, it's a 24-hour support. So every hour it will give you a message to persevere you to keep going. And it's so much is covered on there. But my idea came from wanting somewhere, you know, there was nothing.
No.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what the next steps were. And I've lived a lot of it. You know, there's things that I haven't lived, which you can still get access to. But there was nothing to...
But the fact that it's been built from lived experience, so it has so many different offerings within there, and it's all in one place.
All in one place.
That's the key.
That's the key for me. You know, there's this information is out there if you know where to search.
Yeah.
But there might be things you go onto that website and you're escaping and you think, I didn't even fucking know I'm going to need to do that. But it's on there and that I actually need that. And it just step by step will guide you into what you may not even think of, because at that point your brain is so disheveled and all over the place and your whole reality is distorted. You're not even thinking of these things, and this website is all basically thinking for you. There is also a community bit on there, so for whatever stage you are at, escaping, healing, rebuilding, there is a community of women that will be in that group. There is also a H.E.R hotline, which is AI powered. So when you are having those thoughts and you just feel like you need a bit of a chat, you know, we all love a bit of AI companionship. That is there for you, but it's based on abuse and trauma and how to calm you down and to guide you. If there's things that you feel like aren't on there, and you just want to know, right, I've got this, then it can give you all the answers. There is going to be monthly calls. All of the resources are going to be, you know, available to everyone, but then there is also the healing and rebuilding.
Absolutely. Just before we go on to that bit, so this is going to be available for everybody, and this part is completely free for everyone. Okay.
So all of the resources are completely free. Everything that you would need if you are in crisis, if you're wondering if it is abuse, and if you are escaping, it's all completely free. There is nothing, you know, I don't want you need to access it and you need to access it now. It's all, you know, everything is free. There is a membership where you sign up to, and that is more for the healing and the rebuilding side of things, which, you know, is basically what it needs to do is, you know, is I want to be able to give as much as I possibly can. So number one, I want to do it because I want people to stick, and I feel like if someone pays for something, they are more likely to stick to it, and you are more likely to hold yourself accountable to challenges, to all of these things that I've got in there. You know, it's got my personal tips in there. Another thing for it's got a place for like all your victim statements and it just everything. But I want people to be accountable to their healing and their rebuilding, but also I want to be able to keep this going, and I can't do that completely for free. So it's not like you're, you know, the money is basically just providing this space and investing it into me to being able to give the best services. You know, all of these things are, you know, a cost, you know, making sure that everyone's data is safe, insurances, making sure these things, these softwares to make sure that the text doesn't go through your phone, it goes through the app. They are costs. And for me to be able to provide these services, you know, it's reinvesting in a great cause while healing yourself.
And also as well, they will become so knowledgeable. First of all, from like the acknowledging that actually, do you know what? I thought I was, but this is now confirmed that I am. And then the power that comes, they say, don't they, knowledge is power, but just from reading through and understanding and using all of the resources that you have.
And it's got frequently asked questions. It's got things that survivors say. It's got myths v facts. It's got what healthy love looks like compared to this. You know, you've got resources, downloadable PDFs on every single part of an abuse. Like I said, financial abuse, sexual assault, coercive control, gaslighting. It's literally got everything. What I believe is, I don't think there's anything out there right now that can give.
No, I don't think there is. I think there's a huge gap, and I think you may have just filled it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's talk about the healing part.
I think it's the clarity of going somewhere, and listen, I'm not saying, always seek professional, speak to professional, but this is going to just reconfirm that you're not mad. And also the support and the tools are there for you. They are there to guide you. They are there to, and at that point you don't know where to turn. You don't know what's going on. And if you realize you are, it may just give you the understanding. Quietly you can read up on these things and you will resonate with them more and more, and these are facts. This, you will understand why your brain's working. You will not feel like you're going insane. You will understand why you are going back to that person. You will understand why your brain and why your body and your nervous system feels all of these things. But it's just about making you have the tools and the resources to do this in the safest way possible, and to not be scrambling thinking, I don't know where to turn, I don't know what to do, where to go, or how to do it. And this, I hope, will
absolutely. And I think as well with the community, it's almost like, your friends go home, you're left alone in the house. The community is
I want people to have a safe place. Like I said, I want people to have it where they can come and be like, right, this is how I'm feeling, and to know, do you know what, babe, I've been there and I felt that and it's normal. Or someone's like, I feel like that too. Or do you know what, I'm 10 years on and girls, it gets better. And having all of that there, and a safe place to reach out and come back to, and just feel seen and heard and supported.
And sometimes a weight can feel like it's lifted. When you share that. So what does launching this mean to you personally? Now this is a big thing, Hollie.
It is a big thing.
We're a year on now. Time is going on. So what does this mean for you?
It feels incredible. And I think we was talking about saying earlier, it's like one of those things that you think, oh my God, I hope one day I can do this. And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it. And it feels bigger than me, almost. Like I do genuinely feel like I'm on same, and I want this to be everywhere. I want to take this global. I want this to be in places where women may not, surgeries, hospitals. I want this to reach every woman who needs it. And it's an overwhelming feeling. It's one I'm so proud of, because I have put my heart and soul into this. Like literally every spare, it's such a passion of mine, being able to help and give back. I know that because I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm not going to bed till 1 o'clock in the morning. And I've never done that for fucking nothing. If I can get out of working, I do. But it just, my mind can't switch off with it. And I feel so honoured, because I do feel like I've got a platform where this can be seen a little bit. And that is growing and growing, which is thanks to everybody for sharing and doing, all of that. But yeah, it feels a bit surreal.
I think the key is that this is bigger than you. And that means for me, it's so right, because it's so needed. This wouldn't be evolving into what it is if there was no need for it. But quite clearly, we can see. If a woman is listening to this right now and she feels stuck, confused or scared, what would you say to her, Hollie?
Trust your gut, first of all. If something is feeling off, and I say trust your gut, but I know when you're in it, your gut and your feelings, and we've spoken about this on previous episodes, is so distorted. But if you are questioning whether you are in something abusive, there is a 99% chance that you are. I think it's so important to understand it's dangerous. It is dangerous leaving, but with the right tools, you can get out, and you are so worthy. And your life is so worth living. And I just hope and pray that this community, this podcast, this website can just confirm that your belief in yourself and give you hope from women like me that you may feel like your life is over, but it's just the beginning of a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
And I get it. At that point in time, it is so hard, but you're so worthy of love and respect and all of those amazing things. And some of the best days of your lives haven't even happened yet. And I just want everyone to be safe and get out, and no one deserves to be treated like that. And it just makes me so sad. Like, it just makes me so sad. And you know, until you've got your voice, I will be that voice. But if you can't have a voice, at least have your freedom and safety. And
I don't know why, but the word possible just came into my mind. You know, like if this can make that person feel like a better life is possible for them, and that they're not trapped in this abusive space, then you really have done your job.
And that's the thing for me, you know, if I've helped one person, I've helped save a life, and that's all I can ever ask for. But I just want to give hope. I just want to give hope. I just want women to know that it doesn't have to be that. You may feel like you are so stuck. You may feel like you are never going to get better. You're going to feel like you're trapped. And it's not true. It's them speaking. That's not you. And it's them telling you that. And it's, you know, it's not your fault. That's the first thing I want you to know, that there is no excuse ever in a million years for anyone to ever lay their hands on you and make you feel like you are not worthy of love and respect. But I want you to know that there is life waiting on the other side, and you're not stuck at all. You just need the right tools and resources to have that confidence and courage to be able to get up and leave. And this is what I'm hoping this website is going to give. I'm
so encouraged by what you are doing. Like, honestly, women absolutely kick ass, and you're one of them. I'm so proud of you. Again,
thank you.
I didn't think I could get any prouder, but I am. I'm so excited for the launch of this. And I just know it's going to help so many people. So well done, darling.
Thank
proud
you
of
so
you.
much. Proud of you. So, ladies, this website is going to be live tonight. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping by the time this goes live, it's still in the plan. But I wanted to come on and break it down. There is so much available, and I will obviously be continually sharing it. But I wanted you guys who have been following to see it here first, understand what it is, what is happening. This is just the beginning, and I'm sure as time goes on, it's going to grow and grow and grow. We're going to have guest speakers on there. We're going to build a safe community for whatever stage you are at. And I pray that this reaches the women that need it. And if it's not you watching this, and you're just watching this because you're a lovely person and supporting my journey, share it everywhere, because you never know who does need it.
Absolutely.
And let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you so much for listening. And as always, if you personally, like I just said, have not been affected by anything in this podcast, please share, like, follow, subscribe, leave a review. And I'll see you in season 3.
Season 3.
Thank you. Done.